Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to today's video where we are going to be playing with a whole bunch of relatively new-ish Colourpop products and just kind of having a chit-chatty, get ready with me, talking about my holiday, and yeah, just kind of a, I don't know, look, just come hang out and play with some Colourpop products with me. So if that sounds interesting, please keep watching. Betty, don't knock everything over, buddy. Are you on the octopus? Shall we move over? Can you see him? He's right there. He's making a, what is it, paw stuff on the, you know, making biscuits on my giant octopus plush. He's so cute. Alright, anyway, hi guys. Hope everyone's doing well today. I'm still trying to get back into the filming rhythm, so it's early Sunday morning, relatively early Sunday morning. So we're going to be playing with Colourpop. So some of this has actually been sitting here for a little while, and I think I talked about it in my new makeup releases, but when I say new Colourpop, I meant that it would have been new like a month ago, because they've released like 4 other collections since I bought this one. So let me just give you a rundown of everything we're going to use today. So I picked up the Pretty Fresh hydrating stuff. So there's the Hydrating Hyaluronic Primer, the Hydrating Foundation, and then I also got the Hydrating Hyaluronic Creamy Concealer. Okay, so I got all those, and I'll tell you the colors and everything as we work our way through. And then the rest of it is the Wild Nothing collection. So this is not my type of it's not my style whatsoever. I mean, I haven't even played with it yet, but like, these colors are not types that I would normally gravitate to. They're very light and very fair. But the only reason I picked this one up is, one, Colourpop hadn't come out with a lot in a while, so I wanted to like try something new again from them. And then the other reason is they said that this is what their first like all vegan palette, and it doesn't, I'm not, what's the right word? I'm okay with like the carmine colors, because that's really the way that they're vegan or not is in the red pigmentation. So are they using synthetic dyes, or are they using dyes made from the crushed beetles, which is the red colors? But I guess I wanted to know whether the formula was going to be like different. Was it going to feel different? Was it going to perform different? So that's why I picked this one up. And then I got a couple other things from that collection. I got the Pressed Powder Cheek, and they had a new product at that time, which was the lip oil, which now they've, I think, released a couple of other ones of. And so I got that. I also picked up one of the cream shadows. I don't know if I'm going to use this today. I kind of regret buying it. It's kind of I don't know. It's like, is it supposed to be like an eyeshadow base? I mean, we could use it as an eyeshadow base and just see if it works. Why don't we do that? Why don't we try it that way and just see if it works as an eyeshadow base? Because the one I got is Laurel. And I mean, the packaging is super cute. I mean, sorry. Like, look at that with the little cacti all over it. This is the one I got, and it is like my fleshy skin tone. So I think it might work as like an eyeshadow base, so why don't we go ahead and try that. And then the other new thing is, at the time they had just released their Freckle pens. So I have freckles. You may not be able to tell from like how far I am right now, but I definitely have quite a lot kind of like around here. But I thought it might be fun to like do the faux freckle thing for once. I'm not like gonna commit to it forever, but it could be fun for once. And yeah, and so I'm trying to kind of stick with all Colourpop products today. So I have some other bronzer and highlighter that's not new, and then I have my brushes and stuff. So essentially everything is Colourpop except for like the mascara. Anyway, let me go ahead and zoom you in. We're going to go ahead and get started with the eyes, and then we'll work our way down into everything else. Okay, I think that's close enough for today. I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping, so my eye bags are like particularly like grouchy at the moment, but that is life. Alright, so what we're going to do to start is I'm going to go ahead and put this cream shadow, the Laurel color, down on as a base. Again, this is what it looks like. I have a moderately clean brush here. So let's just go ahead and give it a go I mean, it looks like my eye color, so I think it'll work kind of well as a base. I mean, the other thing that this could do, I don't know how the dry down is going to be, but it maybe could be like just to kind of like hide, like, 'cause I have a lot of like, I don't know if you can see, I have a lot of like veins and stuff. I have thin kind of veiny looking eyelids, so it might be something to like kind of conceal all of that over it. So it's just like a one color and done kind of thing, but this isn't going to be a look that I'm going to go for. Sorry, Betty has gone ahead and buried himself under the sheets again. That's fine. I'm probably putting too much, but I can't really tell. Okay, let's just go ahead and do the other eye. So yeah, so part of this today, I'm just going to kind of chit chat about how my last few weeks have been. I put up one video last week, but it had been pretty like dead from me posting anything. I was trying to be quite active on the Instagram though, because I'm having a lot of fun with that. I like the little stories feature, and I don't know, I'm finding it a little bit, I don't know, maybe easier to do when I'm feeling really busy, is to just like put up a picture or just a very quick thing on the Instagram, or even just to do a little story. I tried a live as well a couple of weeks ago. That was interesting, fun. Okay, so that's on. It does, I don't know, I do find that this particular product smells very bad. Like, it's really strong, astringent-y, overly makeup-y kind of smell. I do not like the way that this smells. So let's see how it works as a base. If it doesn't work well as a base, I don't know that I'm going to keep it, because it does really off-putting smell. Not like a lot of like overly fragrant stuff, it just smells bad, like really, really bad. Okay, so let's have a look at this thing. It's very fair. So the only thing I know for sure that I wanted to use was this green color here. What's it called? Seashells. So what I think we'll do is we'll do some of these warm colors here. So this dark brown, this kind of medium pale brown, maybe a little of this light one as well, and then we'll try this one and maybe another kind of shimmery shade. I want to try a few different formulas and try and get as many different colors into this look as possible, just to make sure that we're really trying it up correctly. Fully. Okay, I got my cat mirror, got my first brush. We're going to use a large fluffy E2 brush from Colourpop, and we're going to go into Vagabond for the first shade here. Oh, there's people chatting downstairs. That's lovely. Yeah, so I've had an okay vacation. I think I had to, I'm trying to think if there was any days where I didn't end up having to do something moderately work related while I was gone. And I don't really think there were any days at all that I didn't have to do something for work. We had some interviews for a job, and I was on the interview panel, and I had to do quite a bit of work, or at least answer emails about that. And then it was just other things, and it gets, I don't know, I'm not sitting here to complain or anything, but it does get a bit frustrating when you can't even have like a real vacation. I mean, that's part of the industry that I work in. For those of you who are new here or don't know, hi, I'm Carolyn. Probably should have said my name at the beginning. And I work in academia, so I am a university lecturer. If you are from the States, that would be an assistant professor is the level of my job. And there's not, I don't know. I'm going to go into top down just to kind of buff that out a little bit on the top. There's not a lot of boundaries in academia, job-wise. It's like you live, breathe, work it. It's just everything. It kind of consumes everything about your life in a way. And I don't know. I know that there's other jobs that are like that. Like, I think law is probably the same, and medicine is probably the same, in this kind of all-consuming, all day, every day, you take your work home with you kind of thing. But those jobs are very well paid. My job is not. And also, I think there's like a different level of, I don't want to say prestige. That's not the right word that I want. I don't know. I feel like there's something different about those compared to Academia. So I don't know. It just gets it gets to you after a while. So anyway, I don't want to sit here and bitch. So anyway, we didn't go anywhere, obviously, for the holiday, except for one very brief day outing to the South Coast, because the quarantine stuff has changed here in the UK. So for a couple of weeks, everything was kind of open, and we had, I guess, travel corridors between most of Europe, which means that, like, you can go and then not have to quarantine when you come back. But they changed all of that really quite quickly. We had thought about going to, like, Paris for, like, one night, but when they but when they reinstituted the quarantine for arrivals from Spain, I had a feeling that they were going to start doing it for other... Oh, the color I'm using right now is No Bounds, by the way. It's the darkest color in the palette. When they did the one for Spain, I kind of had, like, a feeling that other ones were going to follow suit. And they did. And then France was in there, and then I think it's Austria and a whole bunch of other places now. So yeah, we weren't able to go anywhere. We definitely both want to go away a little bit. Like, we want to go to Italy and go do some errands and stuff there. But right now it just doesn't make any sense to really travel or go anywhere. So the last 2 weeks have really just been to kind of rest, recuperate, get some sleep. And also, we've been doing so much stuff around the house, like just maddening amounts of stuff around the house. We rented a car for a few days so we could go and do, like, a big trip to IKEA and go and just, like, buy, like, big stuff, because we don't have a car. And so, like, buying, like, large things, we usually have to get them delivered, or we just don't really get them. Because can you imagine, like, having to walk home, like, 2 or 3 miles, like, carrying, like, you know, a 20-kilo plant or something like that. It's not really feasible. So we got the car so that we could go and run a whole bunch of errands like that. So we went to IKEA, we went to nursery to buy a whole bunch of plants for the flat. Maybe we'll do a plant tour at some point. And also we worked to kind of not redecorate, but, like, reorganize the entire flat to make it a little bit more, I don't know, space saving, space conducive. Like, there's a whole bunch of things we bought to add in and then also took away, so we got rid of some old stuff too. So okay, I think that's looking good. I will say these shadows are very soft. They're very easy to work with. They're just not hugely pigmented, which is fine. Looking at them, I wasn't really expecting them to be hugely pigmented, but they worked really nice. And this is a very pretty, very soft eye look. So no complaints, I guess, at the moment yet. I'm going to put a little bit of some NYX Glitter Primer on this part of the eye just to get the shimmers just to really stick. I usually don't need to with the Colourpop ones, but I've just been doing this now just to see how improved longevity I can get with some of the shades. So okay, glitter primer's on. I'm just going to let it kind of dry for 30 seconds, 60 seconds or something like that. While I'm waiting for that to dry, let's do something in the interim. So I have the hydrating foundation that I'm going to use, but I also got this hydrating primer. You know, I don't usually use primers. I just use my moisturizer, but I wanted to try this out. So let's go ahead and put it on now so it has time to sit for a little bit before we actually do the face makeup. And since we have to wait for everything to... It smells nice. Kind of like a fruity smell. We're just going to kind of go everywhere, I guess. It does smell really nice. It smells like like something you'd wear in the summertime. Like I think it's coconut. I think that's the smell. It does. I do like the smell of it. It does feel nice. It almost just feels like I'm putting a moisturizer on, to be honest with you. It does smell really nice. I actually quite like that smell. Okay, so let's go ahead and try out some of these shimmers. So we're going to, I'm just using a flat brush. I don't have a flat Colourpop one at the moment. So I'm going to try Seashells, which is just their normal, it looks like their normal shimmer formula. That's what it looks like. It's kind of it's a very pale green gold is the look that I get from it. Ooh, hi. Okay, that was more than I thought it was going to be. just gonna put it on here, and then I'm gonna buff it out with a bit of the brown. That is way shinier than I thought it was gonna be. Wow. Okay, I like that. Just smoothing the upper quadrant of it there, and then just kind of buffing it, and then we're gonna come back into that dark brown and kind of buff that edge in a little bit, and let's just do the same here. That looks really pretty. I really like that color. Don't know that it was the perfect complement for the rest of these colors, but I like it. Okay, so let's go ahead and just get this brush again and go into the dark brown and just kind of pull this lower edge in like this, just to help with the shape definition to the eye. I'm wondering whether I'm actually going to do liner today. I don't know. It seems like it's a bit... I don't know how well it's going to match with this look, to be honest with you. I always wear liner, but sometimes it just doesn't feel quite right. I don't know. I think it looks really pretty. I do want to put some more of one of the other colors right here, but I'm going to wait until after we've done like the concealer and the under eye stuff first, just because I don't think it's really going to like work quite yet. All right, let me just clean up this little bit right here. So all I do when I'm cleaning up is I just kind of go under like this and just kind of drag up just to make sure that everything is nice and clean. I know I probably shouldn't be tugging on my eyes so much, but here we are. You know, it's quite sunny outside. It really seems really dark in my room right now. I think what we will do is we'll do like a liner on the lower lash line. Okay, I might use a different, we'll come back to the liner later. I don't know what's going on. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the face. Okay, so we did the primer. Let me put it off to the side. So let's go ahead and try this foundation. The color I got was Fair 30N, so I have no idea. Literally no idea if this is going to work at all. It looks a bit light. I think the lighting is making it look like I'm a little bit more dark than I am. But, oh my gosh. Okay, hi. I just pumped it onto my hand and it's a bit... Do you see? It's like really liquidy. Okay, great. Just has like a makeup-y smell. So we're just going to use a big Colourpop F15 big foundation brush for this. So I'm just putting a little bit on, and we're just gonna... Okay, it might be a bit light for me, but let's try and sheer it out. Let's not overreact quite yet to me being terrible at picking out foundation shades. I think it's really hard, guys, online to pick out a foundation that's gonna work for you. I think it's difficult. I think if it's sheer enough, it doesn't maybe matter that much, but it's really hard. And especially, like, most things are pretty open here in the UK right now. Like, you can go into shops again and, you know, you just have to wear a mask. But like at makeup stores, there's no testers, nothing. Like, there's literally nothing in the displays. So there's a whole bunch of like staff like hanging around and nothing out. And it just, I find it really intimidating, but also it means it's like you can't check whether something's going to work for your skin color. So that's actually seems to be going on okay. It does look light initially when applied, but I think it does fade out quite well. Like, it's very thin, so it shears. Just doing a little bit extra in my spotty areas here. Sorry, somehow I feel with foundation I really have to concentrate because I'm not very experienced with it still, and so I just like to like really pay attention to what I'm doing for a minute. So with the nose, I'm not really putting a lot of product on it. I'm just kind of putting the leftover because I tend to get like really gross like noseness with foundations. So okay, I think we got pretty good coverage, and I only used like half of what I pumped onto my hand, so let me just... It feels like a waste, that's why I'm grumbling. Anyway. So I think actually it looks fine. It's a very, very light coverage, so it's just kind of gotten rid of some of the general imperfections in the face, which I like. So let's see how it sits. Let's see how everything else kind of incorporates into it, because sometimes the foundation looks okay right away, but then when you do powder, when you do other stuff on top of it, it starts to look like ass really fast. So the concealer one I got was Fair 20N, so I decided to go like a little bit lighter with the concealer. I'm worried that it might be too light, but we're just gonna give it a go. So I don't like using a lot of concealer. So this is what I've, a little dot there. Watching Robert Welch. He said like, you know, like these are the placement areas for concealer when you don't want to overdo it. So having it like, my nose is really blue purple underneath, so like this is an important area for like me to catch. So I'm just gonna let that sit just for a moment to kind of get a little bit tacky. I'm just gonna grab some setting powder because I realized I forgot to grab any for this. Okay, so I've really been loving, this is not a Colourpop product, but this Sigma 4D HD Precision, like this kind of pointy, weird triangle kind of brush for actually doing my concealer. Once it's sat and warmed up a little bit like it has, then I'll go in with this, and I don't know, I mean, I'm fine with using my finger, and I will for like the last little bit of this, but for kind of getting up the nose, it seems to work a bit better than like just using a finger, which is what I would usually do. So I haven't used very much of this, and for me, I think that's what's really key with a lot of these products, is not to overdo it, because on my skin, when I really like go in thick with concealers or foundations or anything like that, it tends to look really bad really quickly. I think it's because of the oily skin. I think it's also because I have very, very large pores, especially in the center of my face. So that actually looks really nice to me. It doesn't look overly heavy. It's just a nice, again, a more light coverage around the nose. I am going to open the window just a little bit, guys, because it's very dark in here. Okay, sorry. I was getting hard for me to see what I was doing. And I also want you to see it kind of in the more natural light. I think it looks really good. Honestly, I don't really want to set it, but everything else I have is a powder product. And so I tend to want to set my face if I'm going to use a lot of powders on top. So I'm just going to go with a very light dusting of the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder. I actually don't have a plain powder from Colourpop, which I thought was quite surprising, but there we have it. So I'm just going to do not very much. I picked up way too much of my brush. And just kind of, especially set the areas that I know I'm going to be putting more product on. Itchy, itchy, itchy. And also the areas where I know there's going to be more oils. So it's just a very light little bit just to help the other powder products kind of jazz all in together there, at least for me. Okay, looking okay. We're going to go ahead and go with a little bit of bronzer, just using the same brush because I am lazy. This is the Colourpop Coconut Beach Pressed Powder Bronzer. This is the color here. It's not too heavy, which is why I like it, because I don't really care for bronzer all that much, but a little bit, especially because it does look a little, my skin looks a little bit pale, so I'm just trying to warm it up just a little bit around the edges. Okay, where was I with my thing? Okay, so yeah, so a lot of our holiday was mostly spent like doing things like around the house and sleeping. Sleeping was like the #1 best thing about the holiday. Lots and lots of sleep. It was, however, surface of the sun hot. So hot. I mean, it was in the mid-30s here in the UK, which is like the 90s for those of you who are used to the Fahrenheit system rather than Celsius system. And guys, that's hot. It's so hot for the UK. It's unbearably. There's no air conditioning almost anywhere unless you're going to a large grocery store or something like that. And it's like getting up past 30 degrees inside of our flats in the daytime, and at night it's not getting much cooler, which just means it's kind of unbearable. We're pulling out the Freckle pen now. I'm just going to practice on my hand for... Let's just, you know what? We're doing it. We're not going to go overboard. We're just going to... I'm scared of the Freckle pen. I'm doing it before the blush so I can kind of cover a little bit of these. I don't particularly think this is a look I'm going to go again for. I think maybe I'm a bit too old for it. Let me just clean off this brush and just kind of blot them a little bit. I mean, you probably can't really even see most of them, but the eye can. It's not bad, but it's like, it's just probably not my thing. That's fine. Let's go into this blush. So this is the, which color is this? Crossroads. So this is the containery thingy. And then that's what she looks like on the inside. A little bit more on the kind of corally looking thing. I'm using this big Nabla cheek brush for that. Wow. Let's just tap a little bit of that off, and we're going to start here and work our way up this way. This is the way I normally like to do it. So we did all that stuff on the trip, but then when we were a bit off. But then we also decided to do a couple of small day trips, but we only ended up doing one. And I put some pictures or a story up on Instagram about this, but we went to somewhere called Dungeness, which is down on the south coast of the UK, kind of close to Dover-ish. And it was like, I don't even know, it was weird. It's kind of like the weirdest landscape I've seen in a while, and I didn't really know that like England had landscapes that looks like that. It was really like barren and almost, sorry, I think I'm putting a lot of blush on, but this is really pretty. I actually really like this color because it's kind of just like a warm flush. Yeah, it's just like, it was all like rocks. We're going on with Horse and Carriage as a highlighter, guys. And like there was no, like it was the coast, but there was no sea, because the sea was like a mile out or something like that, maybe like a kilometer out, which was weird, but it was all like these big mud flats, which I wasn't expecting. It's just like mud, like stretched as far as you could see. And my partner actually went out and he got in the mud a little bit, but you could see like people wading like really far out, clearly like collecting or probably looking for things like clams, mussels, stuff that like sits in the mud, cockles probably as well. But apparently the area is also really known for like crabs and lobster and stuff, so we did eat some tasty crab while we were down there and tasty lobster. But it was just a really bizarre landscape. So we did a little bit in the morning down there, just kind of wandered around a little bit, and then in the afternoon we went to some town called Rye, which was supposed to be like super cute, and it was fine. Sorry, apologies if you're from Rye. It like just wasn't like my favorite place I've ever visited, to be polite. I also think the fact that it was like 30 something degrees, no shade, no wind, may have tainted my impression of the town. I'm just going to do a bit of mascara now because I realized we hadn't yet. But it was fine. I think on a nicer day it probably would have been super cute, but also like half the stores were closed. I just can't even explain to you how the heat felt. It's like when you get like sweat in places that you didn't know that you could sweat. It was like that feeling. Okay, so I've done some mascara. I did a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk liner in the waterline, and I popped a little bit of, which color was it? Coastline, just in the inner corner here. So the very last thing to do is try this Lux Lip Oil. So I got the color Bengal, and I thought it would be like the brightest, like the most pigmented of the oils, but I have watched some reviews and I don't think we're going to see anything with this, so we're just going to give it a go. Let's give it a smell. Doesn't smell particularly good, but it's okay. It looks almost like neon on here, but there is no color, really. So I think it's mostly just to give yourself like a little bit of like a soft lip kind of feeling, and maybe a hydrating thing for the lips to keep them comfortable. It feels fine. It's not very, It's not sticky at all, which is good. It's not a gloss, so it really shouldn't be sticky. It is an oil instead. There's just no color to it, so I think it's almost going to be like using it like as a balm or chapstick kind of thing. So, but that's fine. All right, let me go ahead and zoom you out and we'll do some final thoughts and kind of wrap everything up. Okay, so this is everything all together. I think it looks really pretty, actually. I'm pleasantly surprised by this palette. The shadows are a bit more pigmented than I thought they would be, and actually they perform really well, very smoothly. If you like a very neutral, soft kind of look, I think you're really gonna like this. Actually, the quality is very, very nice. Obviously, this is a first impression and not a full review, but I am very familiar with how Colourpop usually works on me, and so I think it's a pretty... I don't think I need to do a full review on this to give you that impression, so I'm pretty pleased with this one. Like that. Really like this cheek color. This is really, really pretty for me. This one, this Crossroads one, I'm very happy. I think it's definitely, you can see this kind of color intensity on the cheeks, but it's like a really natural color for me. So I really, really like that. What else do we got? The lip oil, it feels nice. There's just nothing special about it. So just, it's cheap, and if you want a lip oil, it's a fine. The cream shadow base, or cream shadow if you're just supposed to use it on its own, it worked great actually as an eyeshadow base. What I'll do is, I'm not going to change this look again. I'm going to film a few more videos, and later on today I think I can probably form some thoughts on how well it works in the long term. So I can leave a pinned comment down below on whether this creases after like 2 or 3 hours. So I'll leave that down below in case you are curious. Foundation. It looks great. This is by far, I've tried a couple different Colourpop foundations, by far this is going to be my favorite so far. It's very light coverage. I think you could build it, to be fair, but it looks so soft and so natural on the skin, but it's kind of covered up those imperfections that you obviously want to cover with a foundation. I hated the other concealer that I tried from Colourpop. I don't even remember what it was. It was like a matte concealer. It was so gross, so creasy. This one, there's not a single crease, and I know it's only been a few minutes, but literally with other concealers, it will crease that fast. So I hope this lasts because I really, really like it. So yeah, so these, great. I'm overly pleased. I don't know if the hydrating, this hyaluronic acid primer helped, but I loved the way it felt, so I'm going to keep on using it even if it does nothing, because I liked it. Alright guys, I think that's enough for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry, I'm going to do a big stretch. I forgot what my ending is. Yeah, so that's it for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, you could hit the like button down below. You could subscribe, come hang out with me again. I would really love that. And yeah, I hope you have a really lovely day wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.